Ever since I've been a little kid, I have loved professional wrestling. I love the drama, I love the athleticism, I love all the crazy characters. And despite understanding that it's predetermined and scripted, I love that the professional wrestlers can put on a story and have me on the edge of my seat right till the very end. Now, we as teachers have very different job descriptions to professional wrestlers. We don't have to put our bodies on the line and we don't need to know how to do flips. However, in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 things that we as teachers can learn from professional wrestlers and apply in our everyday teaching life. Hey there teachers, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Mark. I'm a high school math teacher and I'm an avid professional wrestling fan. Now, typically when people think about professional wrestling, they think of the WWE, they think of all of these characters that are larger than life, but mostly they think about the in-ring athleticism, the fighting, the moves, the power slams. But one thing people don't really appreciate is what a performance these superstars are putting on. Whether they're cutting a promo, or whether they're doing in-ring taunting, whatever it is, they're always performing to their fans. And we can learn from that as teachers because we are performing every single day. And a lot of new and beginning teachers don't actually really appreciate that aspect of teaching. Rather, they focus on the actual pedagogy itself, or they focus on the content. But we are actually there as performers. We are trying to engage our audience, the students, and if you're not a very good performer, you're going to really struggle to capture their attention. Now, I stumbled upon this clip I'm about to show you from LA Knight, who's a WWE superstar, and he's talking about what it's like to perform in front of a big crowd. I think we can learn a lot from this clip.
A lot of it is one of those first lessons is act like you belong. Kind of like just kind of owning the room, owning the moment, and kind of just being bigger than, I guess, anybody that's in there. When I'm walking into that arena, I'm a god, and I don't not as me,
yes,
but like in that character. When I'm walking in that thing, it's like that's the only trait, the only persona, the only thought that I can take on is like there's nervousness before I come through the curtain. If you don't have that, you're not alive. I guarantee you everybody gets those jitters where it's like, all right, I got to go out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this thing. And then once you break that curtain and you are out there, my God, all of a sudden you have to embrace that, like, this is my arena. This is my ring. This is my world right now. And you're all living in it.
So as LA Knight talks about, before he goes out on stage, when he's behind that curtain, he's actually quite nervous. So if you're a teacher, especially a beginning teacher, and you're quite nervous before you go into the classroom and you teach, just understand that it's completely normal. But with that said, as you step through that curtain or you step into that classroom, you have to turn it on as your character, the teacher. Now, as you progress in your career, you start to embody that character a lot more and it becomes way more natural for you to be that character. But if you're struggling at the start, just remember, fake it till you make it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And teaching is somewhat theater. We are somewhat performing and engaging our fans, the students. So make sure you keep that in the back of your mind next time you're nervous to go into a lesson. Decide that you're a WWE superstar and you're going to teach the hell out of this next lesson. So now we're on to preparation, and as teachers you probably understand what I'm about to talk about from the teaching perspective. We have to write lesson plans, we have to write assessment, we need to read students' work and provide feedback and all sorts of stuff that we have to prepare in advance for top performance. And believe it or not, because the WWE and other similar professions, professional wrestling promotions are scripted and predetermined, often the entire match is planned out in advance. And if not the entire match, sometimes the most specific and like impactful spots in the match where they do their big finish or their starting performance, all of that is scripted and planned. And the WWE superstars and professional wrestlers in general have to really plan and prepare really well. Not only that, I'm about to show you a clip where John Cena is reflecting on one of his matches. If you haven't heard of John Cena, I mean, where have you been? He's the biggest professional wrestler possibly of all time, at least of the last 20 years. And he's talking about how he and Randy Orton prepared for a match and they realized they had to differentiate themselves from all of the other matches. And they're thinking about creative ways to do that.
I do remember the concept of maybe he should hit the pyro and try to explode me. I think that just goes to show if we were coming up with concepts like that, we had certainly exhausted every traditional method of competition. But the fact that both of us could be like, yeah, that's a good idea, and let's wholeheartedly try it. It's a cool concept, a cool idea, and we were brave enough to try. And that's, I think, when you've had such a history with someone and been in the ring with them so many times, we both kind of knew, like, well, we're going to have to do some different stuff here.
Now, if WWE superstars can be thinking about differentiation, it shows us as teachers how important it is for us to be constantly thinking about our fans and our students and how we need to differentiate to serve them best. It's not good enough for us to just go into every lesson and constantly deliver the same thing to completely different groups of kids. This is an important message for me to remember because I often get stuck in a rut and I go through the motions. It's really important to keep differentiation in the forefront of our mind and always be thinking about how can we go out there and put on the best show that serves the most people. Now, WWE superstars and other professional wrestlers are always trying to improve on their skills, whether they're training in the gym to get stronger, whether they're in the ring by themselves just practicing so that they can keep sharp with their skills, or whether they're just practicing cutting a really good promo in order to entertain the fans. They are always looking for ways to improve. We as teachers need to learn from this and realize that even though we've made it, we are there in the classroom just like they are there on TV, we are always going to be able to improve in some regard, and doing so is going to make our jobs more effective. The performers are going to put on a better show for the fans, and we are just going to be simply better teachers for our students. So whether it means you attend professional development, whether it means you're watching videos just like this one in your own time, trying to look for new and innovative ways to be a better teacher, as long as we are always on the path of never-ending learning, we are on the right track. Speaking of constantly improving, by the way, I'm always putting a lot more effort into these videos. Each and every video, I'm trying really hard to provide the best content for you. If you're enjoying this video, and especially this new style of teaching content, make sure you give the video a like. I really appreciate it. Cheers. Now, in this next clip, you're going to hear Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who I'm certain that you know, talking about a match that he had with Hulk Hogan. In the match, The Rock was supposed to be the good guy, which he's going to refer to as the babyface, and Hulk Hogan was supposed to be the bad guy. But just listen to what The Rock has to say about that match.
We locked up, we were jockeying for position, posturing, and he whispered, "Take a bump." And I said, "You got it." And he threw me. And when he throws me, now in this moment, keep in mind, I am the company's biggest babyface. And arguably, and so you have the two biggest baby faces of all time who are in the ring together. So the crowd was cheering us both. And the moment he threw me, in that moment, I decided I could have taken the bump, landed on my back, and sold it like a baby face, which means I would have gotten up, determined, and like, damn it, all right, you got the best of me on that one, but here we go. Let's lock up again. Of course, 9 times out of 10, I would have sold it like that because I was a baby face. But in that moment, something told me, my gut spoke to me and said, I'm going to sell this thing like a heel. I'm going to go back to my old heel days, which made The Rock famous. So he gives me a bump, boom, I land on my back. I do this backflip over, and I got up, and I had this look on my face like, you just embarrassed the shit out of me in front of the world, in front of 68,000 people. And I had this look, my eyes got all big and wide, and I was like, oh, you son of a bitch, you're gonna pay now. And I sold it like a heel.
So what The Rock and Hulk Hogan have demonstrated there is that WWE superstars and professional wrestlers have to be adaptable to the situation. They went into a situation thinking it was going to be one thing, but based on the crowd, aka your students, they've realized that they needed to change the narrative and change the story that they were telling to suit the audience. We have to do very similar things as teachers. If you're doing a project in class or a piece of group work and it's not working, you can't just plow through and expect success. You have to recognize that it's not working and say, look, I'm going to try something else. If you're teaching something to your class and you realize maybe a quarter of the kids really understand it quite well, but the others don't, you need to stop, Let the kids who understand it go off and practice it themselves, and then you take the other 3/4 of the class and work with them. As a teacher, you have to be able to react to the ever-evolving and ever-changing classroom dynamics, and they are always changing. And you'll be able to pick up on cues and change what you're doing to suit the class the best. It's the only way that you're going to get the max out of being a teacher, and we can learn a lot from these WWE superstars in that regard. And number 5 in this video is all about passion. In the next clips, you're about to see 2 superstars, John Cena and then Dolph Ziggler, talk about their job as professional wrestlers, but just listen to the passion in their voices as they give these speeches.
You and I, sir, we share passion. This is it for me. This is my friggin' life. And good, bad, or indifferent, I show up to work on time. I work my ass off because I love this place and I love what it represents and I have passion for it and I have passion for this.
You're right, man. This is all I have. This couple minutes a night, 300 nights a year, this is my everything. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone when they know that I live for this. This is what I love. But you know what? Sometimes things you love don't always love you back. And you can give, 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 and sometimes you get nothing. In return, you get nothing. And you have friends and family and fans coming up to you, tell you, why do you still do it? Why are you still here? Why do you subject yourself to this every night? It's because I can't stop. It's a sickness. I can't stop. And maybe my career didn't always turn out the way I thought it would, you know? I thought it would have been better. I thought I earned something. I thought I would be a bigger star, but you know what? I just can't stop myself.
Passion about teaching and being a teacher is so important. It's what sets good teachers apart from great teachers. It's what can differentiate you from your peers. It's going to be able to help you connect with students because they see your passion and they trust you and they respect you and they know that you're going to be there for them because you're there every day giving your heart and soul. And yes, as Dolph Ziggler said, sometimes you give and give and give and give and really don't get anything in return. But there are the students who are going to send you a card at the end of the year. There's going to be students who ask for a hug and they're crying on their last day of school because they miss you, or they're going to miss you, and they don't want to say goodbye. These are the moments that make it all worthwhile. And there's one thing that John Cena, Dolph Ziggler, and all of the WWE superstars and professional wrestlers across the world have in common, and it's that they live for their jobs. They live to be a professional wrestler, and we need to live to be a teacher. It has to be our identity. It's not just a job. It's our lives. And what that can do is actually bring on a lot of burnout throughout our careers. Something like 50% of teachers quit in the first 5 years of teaching. We have a huge teacher shortage going on right now, and burnout is one of the major causes of it. I've got a video on my channel where I talk about teacher burnout, especially in those beginning years, and how to avoid it, and definitely things you can do to prevent it from happening to you. So if you're interested in how to avoid that burnout, make sure you click on that video. Otherwise, thanks for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.